Hello, friend Jim here with JB's Big Adventure, coming to you from Lake Chapala, Mexico. And look who I've got with my video today. And I know you don't see a whole lot of her. She's just really camera shy and doesn't really want to be on videos. So that's the reason that you don't see much of her. But today's really an important video, and that is we've actually passed a milestone when it comes to being an expat moving to Lake Chapala. And that is, we just got our permanentes, which means we're now permanent residences of Mexico. And so we went through the process of being temporals, and then we became permanentes. So that's where we're at today. So I'm just going to kind of share some things about what we would have done differently, what we've experienced over the last 4 years. So one of the things that I would say that people need to know is, for those coming down for the first time, you need to know the things and places that you need to avoid. What you don't know can hurt you because you simply don't know what you don't know. It's a big decision of somebody moving here and being here. So you've got to really be careful to the voice that you listen to. Barbara's on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. And she's pointing out things all the time that people are saying on Facebook. It's like, it's totally ridiculous, or it isn't even true. So I get asked, if we were to do this all over again, what would we have done differently? And, you know, looking back on it, we have to learn from our mistakes. But here's something that's a blessing and a benefit for you. And that is that for us to be able to learn from someone else's mistake, that's success. To learn from our personal mistakes is expensive. So these are looking back things we've done differently. And so we actually packed everything, we sold everything, and we only brought what was really important to us on a 5x9 U-Haul single axle trailer. So I would have kept my pictures, I would have kept plaques, some of the trophies, mementos, and I know that we would have also kept our sleep number of bed. We've talked about that several times, about our sleep number bed. Because the beds aren't always comfortable here, and I know the bed we're on now really isn't comfortable for Barbara, so we have a big, thick 8-inch piece of foam on there to try to help out as much as possible. So these are kind of things that we regret looking back at it. I had some baseball card, football, basketball card collection I probably would have kept. My library was 6 feet tall, 19 feet long, and it was 37 Apple boxes. And I literally gave away 30 boxes of my library and only kept the 7 that were the most important. So washer and dryer. Did we talk about the washer and dryer, whether we were going to bring it or not?
No.
Because
it's too old.
And you don't find dryers here either. So we have one in the rental we're in now, but you don't always find dryers because they just hang clothes up. It's not common. I would have applied myself more to learning Spanish. I mean, here starting as a temporal, that's one thing. But when you become permanente, I think there's a part of me that says I need to be able to communicate fully. So I've been taking Spanish lessons. So that's something I look back at and said I should have done a little bit better job at that. Moved here sooner. You talked a lot of times about us moving to Mexico.
Yeah.
And I just have never had an interest in doing that. So, I mean, I've been out with probably 200 couples, somewhere around there on my tour, my boots on the ground tour, and we've got more than 100 of them that have already moved here within the last 1.5 to 2 years. And we would have done more due diligence in regards to how we were getting down here. Financially, we were really in a tough spot, and so we really had to plan that. And we were referred to somebody that turned out to be an absolute nightmare. We lost half of the things that we brought down because of his carelessness and not making sure that our items were safe. and they all got wet. So anything, honey, you can think of that that we should have brought down, or that you would have liked to have brought down that we didn't bring down?
Not really.
Okay. I sold a bunch of my golf clubs. I was a golf professional before we came down. I had a golf academy teaching 100 some odd students. I sold a bunch of my clubs. You know, and I've mentioned this before, but I would look at myself as being a pretty sharp businessman. And I was in the insurance business with New York Life. I was with Mercedes-Benz. I've been in the mortgage industry. I had a large marketing company. And I thought I'd be able to handle everything that we've been here for. And I found that to be very much a misnomer. I mean, we struggled. We struggled when we got here. We love the idea about living in Mexico, and specifically here at Lake Chapala. And we feel that we've picked a really good neighborhood. There's a lot to choose from, but they have their pros and their cons. So we were told when we got here that, I can still remember, that you're not going to be able to find rentals for under $1,000 or $2,000, I'm sorry. And that's, definitely not the case. I mean, there are all kinds of places. But crime, we were told, and you hear about the crime here, or the crime in Mexico, or the cartel. What's your feeling on that in regards to?
I feel safer here than I do in the U.S. You don't have to worry about going into Walmart or to the church or wherever and being shot at. Crime is kind of contained with the cartels fighting each other.
Right.
If you're looking for drugs and you want to get into that
selling drugs,
that situation, then they'll find you if you're in their territory. They don't want you to, but they keep it really safe down here. They try to keep it as clean as possible. There's people that come down here and complain about the cobblestones and too much music. And I just tell those people, if you don't like living here the way it is, then go back to where you came from.
Right.
This is their country. This is their traditions. They don't have to bend the U.S. or Canadian because they want something the way they left behind. Then go back.
Yeah.
Nobody's forcing you to stay here. This is their country. Why should we change for,
we're guests.
We're guests, and a lot of the people that we talk to, that the waiters and waitresses, really enjoy having us here because it gives them a chance to speak English. They say we're not as bad as people from some other places that look down on the people here.
The Tapatíos, those from Guadalajara. No, that's not a problem. We've experienced things and we've seen things, and what Barbara's saying is correct. And just the place that we're at is a poor place. So there are those that come here, that visit here, or have places here that are very demanding. They're very demanding. Just like in the States, there's different social classes. And here there's a social class. And the social class here at Lake Chapala is really low. But when you're coming as a Mexican, you're coming from the number 2 city in Mexico, there's expectations. And so we have learned that there's that in the mix. But we also find that from expats too. I mean, there's expats that have made things really, really unkind. I know that shopping in the beginning was a real difficult thing, going to grocery stores, but you've kind of been able to handle that okay now.
Yeah, well, I just use my Google Translate. That tells me takes pictures and what it is. And we really don't eat. We have snacks at home, but as eating out, we do more because it's a lot less expensive for us to go out to eat. I mean, we can go to the donut shop in under 200 pesos and get 4 donuts and 2 drinks. I mean, I think that's pretty reasonable.
I'm working on losing weight, so telling them we go to the donut shop every day.
Well, I do.
I have to stay home. I can't go because I'll just eat donuts and I'm already looking like a donut. So, but yeah, it's cheaper for us to eat out because I'm vegetarian and she's not. So for her to make all the stuff that I eat, it's just easier to go. It's cheaper. And people tell me all the time that come down here, come on the tour and everything. They've heard about that and they really see it. So, honey, how about healthcare?
Well, I could use my Medicare Advantage down here. I used it last year to have a endoscope done, and as long as the doctor can make it as an emergency when you go in, then Medicare will pay for it as long as you have the Advantage plan. And the hospitals are just wonderful here, and you know, if they don't speak English, they'll get someone to come and talk to you, and there's really great service down here. You don't have to wait. I went in to go have a mammogram done, and I went into the hospital to see if I could set up an appointment, and she goes, "Oh, we can do it now." Well, you never would see that in the States or Canada. You'd have to wait 6 months to get an appointment. And just for a follow-up, going to the doctor, it's 100 pesos, which is $5. I mean, and they give you a full hour when you go to the doctors. They don't sit there and look at their watches. And they tried to, since I've been here, I've lost 20 pounds because I just, you know, the food is different, so I don't eat as much, and it's just, you know, the food is, you know, quite a bit different than what we're used to from New Mexico.
Right.
And I do miss my seafood because I'm from New Hampshire. So I could get the Maine lobsters. And they have lobsters here, but they're the Caribbean lobsters, not the lobsters I'm used to growing up with. So when we go back to the States to visit, we usually go to Red Lobster because they usually will fly them in from Maine like every other day. So at least I can get that. I miss the green chili from New Mexico. You can't find that here. And there's things that he likes is super chunky peanut butter. And so when we have people come down to visit, we ask them to bring that and whatever else we're looking for. And most people will bring that down for us. You can get super chunky peanut butter, but you're going to pay a lot of money because it's imported. So, you know, it's just, so when we go back to the States, then, you know, we're so excited about the food and stuff. So, but, you know, it's just whatever you enjoy down here.
That was my challenge, was finding food here I like to eat. That was difficult. So as you heard her talk about, that you can use Medicare Advantage here, and it's got to be approved by the ER doctor. So it's got to be legitimate. And we've also got another gentleman I was with, you know, probably 6 months ago, 8 months ago, that moved down, that he went to the hospital, and his service, I mean, his whole hospital stay and everything was also covered by Medicare. So Advantage. It can be used. Yes, Medicare Advantage. Yeah. And how about dentistry?
Well, the dentists here are 650 pesos, which is what, $35. Yeah. And they do, you know, good job here. You don't have to make a 6 month appointment unless you're going to have specialty work done. Then they'll come in and bring someone in to do anything out of the normal.
But she's a really good gal.
Yeah.
Gotten all kinds of reviews from folks that have used her, and one couple, they saved $16,000. Another guy came down, saved him, came down with a list of things to have done for $8,700, and ended up being, she did it for like $1,100. So a lot of savings there. How about, honey, when it comes to veterinarian and pet care, since
There's tons of veterinarians around here.
we have two rescues ourselves?
Yeah, we have 2 rescues. You know, it's like $750, 750 pesos to take them in to get their shots and stuff like that. You go to the groomers, our dog is a little on the heavy side, so it's like 500 pesos, so $25 about to get her groomed, and they do the whole thing. And there's a lot of people down here that have 2 or 3 dogs, and a lot of people are bringing their pets down with them. And if you come down, make sure you have all their medical records and they're up to date on their shots. They don't usually ask for that when you're crossing the borders, but it's good to have it just in case. And one thing too, if you're driving down and you have 2 or 3 dogs in the car and they start barking, that kind of helps you get across the border a little better, because they're a little wary about the guards going into your car and stuff like that. So that's kind of a deterrent. And another thing I suggest doing is putting in cameras in your car too, so that if they see the cameras, they're a little bit won't be so pushy about trying to get money from you and stuff like that.
Getting bribes.
Yeah.
So that people have stickers on the side of their cars and all.
Right.
Just letting the police know that, in fact, that there's a camera running. Another thing is tipping. We learned about tipping. We learned how important that is here. And in the beginning, we didn't know how to tip in Mexico because, everything here, if you're being served, you want to make sure you tip those individuals. So when you go to get gas, we tip them. Servers, we tip them. All kinds of different ways.
The baggers in Walmart.
Yeah,
Or
the grocery
stores.
Yeah.
You should give them like 10 pesos.
Yeah. And something else that we really found here too, and that is there are great church communities here. And one of the things that we have really found is we've got a church that's a very, very loving church. Just the representation of Jesus Christ is just really live and well, and caring and loving each other is really an amazing thing too that we found, because we had big shoes to fill when we came down from our church in the States, because we both were real active in church. And so we got down here, and there was a period of time that things were a little stressful, and but today it's totally, church experience is totally different. And so there's a lot of different representations for places to worship here. So if you'd like more information on that, you can actually email us. The email is in the description of this video. Is there anything, honey, that I didn't cover that you can think of that we should have done coming down, or if we knew?
We would have gotten the person we had bring us down was terrible. I mean, we'd get to the toll booth and he'd pay his toll and go, and we're still trying to figure out how to pay, and he's gone, and we're trying to find and he's got our stuff in his car, in his truck, and it just was just terrible. Didn't bring us through immigration, so when we got here we were illegal. So he had to end up flying to Tijuana, going across the border, getting our passport stamped, showing that we were fine legal, and then we had to fly back. So that was another expense. He just no personality, and he didn't care that we were trying to keep up to him or anything. So you just got to be careful in who you have.
I was just going to mention
stuff
that.
Down.
Well, what's really important is getting good referrals. Good people here. As I mentioned earlier, you got to be careful of the voice you listen to. I mean, when I come across other expats, the things I hear is that the information that you're going to get that's online and such,
Especially
it's just
Facebook.
terrible. Yeah,
You know, they put stuff on there that they don't even live here, and they're saying, you know, this and that about the place, and they've never been here. You know, they go by what someone else says, and then they put their 2 cents in. So, you know, you got to make sure you get a reliable person that knows, that's been here, that's lived here, and knows the in and outs. Because some people just want to talk on Facebook to make just so that they can make themselves important when they really don't know what they're talking about.
Right. And we've had a lot of people that we've used and we're disappointed and moved on. And in fact, folks, that's why I actually authored my book that has all the people that we actually refer people to, that we use. People I've vetted, people I've interviewed.
Immigration.
Yeah. And the importance of having an immigration attorney.
Insurance, you know, health insurance, car insurance.
Right.
Realtors. We have a real good realtor to use.
It's important, isn't it, to have the right, know that you've got the right person that can really help you, and isn't just saying that, but has experience in whatever profession that they're in. So, and you know, the one thing too that Barbara and I really agree on, and that is we've got more friends here than we had in the States.
Oh, that's for sure. And we go out like every week on Tuesday with our groups, all the people that have moved down here.
From our channel.
And we have between 30 and 40 at dinner. And just people getting to know other people, you know, starting different groups, and it's just
create community. And
it's really, really nice, you know.
Yeah. Well, folks, I will share this with you. We're videoing this in August, and actually 4 years of us being here was May 31st in 2021 is when we got here. So we're actually over 4 years. We've shared with you things that, looking back now, and you know what? As I said, the stuff that we were told about down here, we were told there were vicious dogs here, that you just don't want to be around them. And we come here and there's no vicious dogs.
No, there's a few homeless. I mean, not homeless people. Just, I guess this is what I've been told, that a lot of the Mexican people just let their dogs out in the morning and then they come back at night. So a lot of them come to the restaurants you're at. You know, they'll walk in the restaurants and, you know, they don't bother you. They just come in to check you out, and then they're outside, and it's just, and you get to eat out more outside here. When we lived in New Mexico, you know, you could only do that up to a certain time in the year, and after that, then you couldn't eat outside much. Here it's year round, and you know, it rains at night or early morning, and then the rest of the day it's nice. It's just really a lot different living down here compared to the States. We couldn't afford to go back to the States.
And there was a big culture shock when we got here. But now the culture shock is when we go to the States. Right.
When you go to McDonald's and $40 for breakfast, I'm like, you know, that's a culture shock right there.
Unbelievable. Well, friend, I hope that, I'm sorry, Andy, you had something else you wanted to share? You know, publicly, thank you for doing the video with me. I know you don't really like doing this, but she's actually the star. I mean, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have the channel. She was real big support. And by the way, if you have an interest in my Boots on the Ground Discovery Tour, I've done that now somewhere around 200 times. And a lot of people have moved down here from that. And that's who we get together with each week for dinner. So, friend, I hope this has been helpful for you. It might open up some ideas and things that you might...
Your email, get in touch with
Oh, So I'll put the email actually. What I'll just do is I'll put the email at the bottom of the video itself, so you'll be able to have my email address the whole time through. And you know what? If I could ask you to do this, for one, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. Yeah, subscribe. Our channel's non-monetized, so it's not like, you know, we're trying to get 10,000, 20,000 subscribers. We just want to make sure that the information that we give out is good information.
Make sure you like too.
Yeah, thumbs up. So with that, thank you for being a part of this channel. Thank you for supporting this community. You have an awesome day, and we'll see you on the next video.